Welcome to our online introduction to the options process for Year 9 in 2017. My name is Nick Berry and I am the Assistant Principal with responsibility for curriculum at St Benedict's College. The aim of this presentation is to give parents and carers an overview of the process before they attend the Year 9 Family Maths and Options Fair in February. At the Options Fair, you will be able to talk to staff from all of our option subjects, as well as those from the core subjects and the senior leadership team, including Mr Riley, our Senko. Our careers advisor, Mrs Axtell, will also be available. We believe that students should follow a curriculum that is both broad and balanced. This ensures that their learning covers skills in all areas of education and not just one particular area or subject. Most jobs do not specify particular qualifications at GCSE level, apart from English and Maths. Very few careers require particular GCSE subjects, and that is why we give the students at St Benedict's a broad curriculum and encourage them to take advantage of this. It is the best way to prepare them for the next stage of their education. Having said that, the option system does begin a process of specialisation that may end up with your child studying a particular subject at university. What is vital is that students do not limit themselves at this stage, as they may well change their minds over the next few years. We do understand that each child only has one chance at each stage of his or her education, and that is why we work hard to get things right first time. We take our time over the process and give students and parents the opportunity to ask questions to teachers, form tutors, careers advisors and senior staff. The next 2 years are self-evidently an important time for your sons and daughters. They are now over halfway through their time at St Benedict's. At Key Stage 4, students will be working towards qualifications in a way that they were not between the ages of 11 and 14. They will build on the skills that they have been taught over the last few years, and alongside new skills, they will work towards a GCSE qualification in each of their subjects. At St Benedict's, the vast majority will be working towards GCSE examinations in 10 subjects. The subjects your child will study in the next 2 years will form a foundation for future study and indeed, we hope, for lifelong learning. Because subjects are studied in more depth, students do have to make choices and stop studying some subjects. For some, this is difficult. For others, it's harder to think of enough subjects they like doing. We are mindful that students can take on too much, and that is why we look closely at each individual to make sure he or she is undertaking what is appropriate. You may have heard or read in the media that there have been a large number of initiatives from government over the last few years that have had significant effects on schools. We have worked hard to ensure that these changes have been implemented smoothly and that students will be prepared for the new style of assessments that will be taken during and at the end of each course. All GCSEs will, from this September, follow the new 9:1 GCSE specifications. Students will have already started thinking about their options choices. Subject teachers will have talked to the young people about their subject at GCSE. Students were asked in January which 3 subjects they are at present most interested in continuing to GCSE. They have been spoken to by me and subject staff in year assemblies. They have had conversations in form time. And finally, they will have had conversations with you, their parents and carers. We do, however, understand that making such choices can be daunting for students, and this is why we take our time and involve you as parents and carers, so that you can both advise and support your child. Well, what are the next steps? Over the next few weeks, students will have taster lessons in the 3 subjects they chose in the recent questionnaire. This will help them to confirm whether or not they have made the right choices. The option blocks will then be designed around those choices to ensure that the vast majority of students will be able to take all of the subjects that they have chosen. There will be a test run of the options choices to give us an idea of the number of groups necessary, which varies slightly from year to year. It is important, however, to note that none of this ties the students into anything at this stage. The final form towards the end of this term is the one that counts. All students at St Benedict's study 7 core subjects, which by themselves would allow them to take most A-levels. There is a perception that some subjects are worth more than others, and certainly when you come to choose A-levels, if you are intending to apply to some of the top universities, you may need to select carefully. However, at this stage, what matters most is that students enjoy and engage with what they are learning, and for almost all, if not all students, all of their choices are equally valid. The Russell Group of universities, for instance, emphasise the importance of a number of facilitating subjects: biology, chemistry, English literature, geography, history, physics, modern and classical languages, and maths and further maths. The majority of these subjects are within the core of our curriculum. Students may choose to take geography or history or both within the option blocks. Their other choices in the option blocks should be subjects that they enjoy and that will give them an opportunity to learn skills that will both complement and extend those of their other subject choices. As I have said before, at this stage it's important to have as broad an education as possible. It may be tempting to encourage your child to take what you feel is best for them, or what you think might lead to a good job. But they're much more likely to do well if they enjoy what they do. They should not take a subject because they like their teacher this year, or because their friends are taking it. Staffing and friendship groups change. Consider how your child works. It's important to look carefully at the options booklet and consider how each subject is examined. The new English GCSE, for instance, has no controlled assessment any longer, and students will be graded solely on 2 exams for language and 2 for literature. Other subjects, even before the new specifications, have seen the percentage of controlled assessment reduced. Do not assume that if you have older children at the college, that things will have remained the same. Please note that you can study a number of subjects at the Sixth Form College or Colchester Institute at Level 3 or A-Level without having taken the subject at GCSE. Good examples of this are computing and business and economics. In both cases, students do not need to have studied the subject at GCSE. In fact, the only requirements are mathematics and English. Students will be made aware of how much maths is involved in both courses. Although we do not want to limit any students' choices, we also do not want a student to find partway through the course that they are not coping with the subject. Finally, remember there is no such thing as an easy option. All subjects require hard work. At the Family Maths and Options Fair, you will receive a copy of the booklet on the left, containing information on each subject in the Year 10 and 11 curriculum. You will also receive the test run form. This form should be returned by Friday the 17th of February 2017. Please note, this is a test run and students can make changes later in the term. It can be difficult to keep track of all this information, and this is why I have created a Year 9 options page on the college website that contains all the resources that your child has received and will be updated with new materials regularly. If you are watching this presentation, then you will probably have already found this page. The page also contains the presentations that each head of department gave in January, as well as other information relevant to each subject. There will be an electronic copy of the options booklet that you will receive at the options fair on the website, which has links to online resources and a copy of all relevant forms, just in case your child loses their copy. Finally, the page gives links to useful external resources and websites that give information and advice that may help in making choices. Here you can see a screenshot of last year's page. This year's page will grow as the term progresses to include all of this information and more. There are links on the website to various documents and other websites. Informed Choices is a very well written and helpful booklet from the Russell Group of universities that gives information about post-16 courses that will be valuable when considering particular subjects at university. There are also links to prospectuses from both the Sixth Form College and Colchester Institute, which you will find helpful in making choices for next year. The website successatschool.org has lots of very helpful information. Finally, the National STEM Centre website has information about jobs in science, technology, engineering and maths. Please note that at the sixth form college, many courses require a particular grade in English or mathematics. It should be noted that sometimes the required grade in mathematics can be higher than the grade for the subject itself. This reflects the amount of mathematics, particularly algebra, that is necessary in that subject. As mentioned before, some A-levels do not require you to have taken the subject at GCSE. If a student has particular interest in a subject, then of course it's a good idea to take the subject at GCSE. If, however, a student is having a problem deciding between two subjects, then it will be a good idea to look at the entry requirements. For instance, drama at the sixth form college does not require GCSE, just a grade C or above in English. Another example is fine art, where students can take the subject if they have a GCSE in either art or textile design. This may open up choices for your child that you were not aware of, and is certainly worth considering. In conjunction with our SEND department, we will also be running an alternative course in at least one option block. Please contact Mr. Mike Riley, our SENCO at the college, for further information. From the recent questionnaire, it is clear that there are some subjects that are likely to prove less popular than others. Obviously, we have to make hard decisions sometimes about whether a subject can run if only a few students have chosen it. On the test run and final options form, students are asked to indicate a second preference. Generally, a subject will be at risk if less than around 15 opt for it. Ultimately, if these courses do not run, I will speak to the individuals personally. Conversely, some subjects are proving very popular, and we may have to limit numbers. It is therefore vital that students consider carefully their second choices. Finally, please do come along to our Family Maths and Options Fair on the 2nd of February 2017. This will be a chance to celebrate the faith of the college and see how this should both guide and encourage us as we look to the future. Thank you for listening to this presentation.